So ADA recently has been on a downtrend, and you can see that we ended up more or less tapping into this short-term target that I set out in my previous update, where I mentioned we had this move to the downside that was playing out, and we could have the recovery to the upside, which we ended up doing so, and we ended up reaching 87.22 cents. Then we got rejected, given that people were taking profits, and that then led to this deep move to the downside, where we even breached past this previous low at 82.69 cents. And given that we ended up breaching past this level, that then further confirmed that we had a deeper corrective move to the downside that played out. So in essence, we had a WXY structure. And so very quickly, if I bring in the fib tool and bring this to 88.1 cents, and you can see that we ended up tapping into the typical range for the Y wave, which is anywhere between 1 to 1.226. And as of right now, we have reached a local low that sits at 80.79 cents. And so, as you guys know, I mentioned how I've been tracking one of two structures, with one of which being a WXY structure to the upside. And I was also on the lookout for a 5-wave move to the upside, where this is wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. But this structure ended up getting discounted, given the fact that we ended up breaching past the wave 1 or the wave 2 origin. So we ended up breaching past this level here. And so in Elliott Wave Theory, what you can't have is the wave 4 cross the wave 1 or the wave 2 origin. And so that discounts this 5-wave structure, which leads me to either the WXY structure that I talked about, or we could see a deeper move to the downside, where we could even tap into this range. But as of right now, I'm still tracking a WXY structure to the upside. And so it's possible that this move formed the wave W, and what we could have forming right now is the wave X. And then we could see a recovery to the upside to form the wave Y. And it's a case of whether or not this wave X has now been completed, given that we had a WXY structure that played out, or we could see a slightly deeper move to the downside to form the wave X, where what we could see forming is a bigger WXY structure like so. And if I reposition this to over here, the wave X would typically reach anywhere between 50% to 88.2% of the wave W. So once again, if I bring in the fib tool and bring this to the local top, what you can see is we now sit within that range between 76.93 cents to 82.04 cents. And so given that we have now tapped into this range, it is possible that this WXY structure could have formed the wave X and then we see that reversal. But again, on the flip side, it is possible that we see a slightly deeper move to the downside, made up of a bigger WXY structure to form the wave X, and then we see that recovery. And so from here on out, what we need is for the price of ADA to extend beyond the 88.2% retracer level. So if I bring the fib tool and bring this to over here, so for us to be bullish, what we need is for a reversal to take place and for the price of ADA to then breach past this level here at 88.2 cents. If we get rejected within this region between 50% to 88.2%, then that will then confirm that what we are forming is a bigger WXY structure to the downside. So if I remove this and remove this, what I do is check to see what's taken place within this recent move to the downside, just so I can get a better understanding as to whether or not we have now completed this wave Y. And it does look like we had a 5-wave move that played out. And so if I bring in the fib tool and bring this to 87.22 cents, so here you can see that we ended up retracing towards the 1.618 level, which then triggered a 5-wave structure. And then we saw this move to the upside, followed by another push to the downside, where we ended up reaching 8.79 cents. So if I draw this out, essentially we had this wave 1 that played out, and then wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Worst case scenario, it's possible that we still have this 5-wave structure that's forming, where this here could be the 3rd wave, and then we could have a wave 4 that plays out, followed by a reversal to complete the 5th wave. So if I drop down to the 5-minute chart and check to see what's taking place over here, and again, it looks like we had a 5-wave structure that formed, where this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. And so what we need is for the price of ADA to continue to move to the upside in order to confirm this 5-wave structure. And what we need is for the price of ADA to also breach past this level. If we get rejected within this region, then it's possible that this here is the third wave, this would be the fourth wave, and then we see that final push to the downside to complete a fifth wave. And if that's the case, then short term ADA could potentially reach anywhere between this region here, which is the typical range for the fifth wave. So anywhere between 8.15 cents to 80.55 cents. And so, yeah, there's still some further confirmation that's required for ADA. I'm still tracking that bigger XY structure to the upside. And it's a case of whether or not what we are forming is a deeper X wave, or the X wave could have bottomed out at 80.79 cents, and then we could see that reversal to the upside. And for us to confirm that we are bullish, what we need is for the price of ADA to extend beyond the 88.2% retracer level. And that level sits at 88.2 cents. If that's the case, then yeah, that would then mean that we could have bottomed out over here, and we could have the wave bar that's playing out to the upside. But of course, that's something I'm going to be tracking in the days and weeks to come, and I'll be keeping you guys updated. So yeah, that's just my update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.